Hello, and welcome back to the Great Movie Pod. I am one of your co-hosts, Noah, and this is,
I'm Caleb.
and we are back with another episode. Um, I'm pretty excited about this episode. You had come up with the theme, so why don't you tell the folks what we're talking about today?
Yes. As we all watch movies over the years and, we enjoy them and, we love certain actors and actresses or whatever. Again and again and again, we have these musicians, singers, songwriters that think they should always give acting a shot, no matter who they are. It doesn't matter if you're, Meatloaf or you're J-Lo or you're Lady Gaga or you're Sinatra. There's so many people that are like, let me give it a shot. And some of them are like, not good at all. And that's most of them. And then some of them are passable, and some of them do occasionally have a role, and it's pretty good. And then some of them actually have turned into really good actors or actresses. And so we thought we'd kind of go through and talk about these this weird niche of folks that are technically actors and actresses, but they got their start doing something in the musical field.
Yeah. Before we get started with that, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications so you never miss an episode
And
when we
give us
post.
some likes, some likes.
Yeah, hit the like button. And if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, thanks for listening. And make sure you also turn on the post notifications for that as well. Yeah. I figure that we start this off because we don't have like when we were discussing how to do this, we don't have like a definitive, like, this is a top five.
Right.
But we have some singer, songwriter, actors that are like the upper echelon of this category.
Right.
So I figure we'd start off with some honorable mentions.
Yeah, like the folks that, we'll throw in some people that have done acting. We're just not going to talk about them at length if they're just like, like I brought up before, Meatloaf. He had a great role in Fight Club, but he just didn't really do
Okay.
much after that. I mean, he's just
I'm gonna have to rewatch Fight Club now because I don't remember that
he
at
he
all.
was the guy who I haven't watched that in years and years and years, but he was the guy who was taking some kind of drug that, and he was a guy, and it was making him form breasts.
Okay, I vaguely
And so
remember
at
that.
one point, Ed Norton's character is like crying, and Meatloaf, who's a giant guy, like embraces him, and like Ed Norton's like, and here I am, because he has like he has this narration where he's like, and here I am, like in between Bob's breasts, weeping over whatever it was.
Okay, I
Yeah.
vaguely remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so Meatloaf, one and done. Yeah, okay. I'll have to rewatch that. It's been a minute since I watched that. I love that movie. Um I had
Did you know, by the way, that when they premiered that in Venice or Cannes or whatever, that they were booed out of the studio?
no, for
And
what?
yeah, they were booed out of the studio. People were walking out. Executives were pissed, angry. I don't know how much you can swear on YouTube. No, I'm not sure. But at that point, Brad Pitt says, "Now I know this is the best movie I'm ever going to make."
That's so weird that they would get booed and it was because of the ending or like
I
what?
I don't know. I read that and I'm like, okay, it makes sense because it's so bizarre. It's a bizarre story.
While I'm thinking about the ending, we should bookmark that subject of movies with plot twists.
Okay, yeah.
I think that'd be a really good podcast to do because there's so many movies with twists, and I think obviously there'd be heavy spoilers for that, but yes, the biggest one of all.
Yeah.
But that's a good one. For a couple of my honorable mentions that like I don't necessarily have the need to go through their entire filmography, but I have Justin Timberlake on there as kind of like a Meatloaf kind of guy,
Yep.
but he's done a little bit more. He's really good in The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's also a couple years ago he did a film. I was talking to you about it a little bit earlier, but he did a film called Reptile with Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
And it's a suspense film, and it's a little bit slower pace. So if you don't like slower pace films, you might not enjoy it. But I like Justin Timberlake a lot, and I think he has a decent amount of range for someone in a boy band.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll get to some of the boy band stuff in a little bit, but also Timberlake, he obviously, because of his, years and years on stage and everything, he has a charisma and a look, but he has a delivery that like is really good. And if he chose to like, and I do like the fact that because he has made some small like supporting roles in like more like indie kind of films, so it's sort of like he's kind of learning how what it is, the acting bit. He's
Yeah,
not like I'm Timberlake, here's my big movie. It's like no, he's like trying to work his way in and like kind of doing the work. You
yeah,
got to respect that.
for sure, for sure. Do you have another honorable mention to throw out?
Well, I'm gonna throw out like maybe the best musician turned actor that's ever been, which is Tom Petty in The Postman. And
No, not the postman.
no, no, but to hear me out though, because you're in a post-apocalyptic world and things are trying to kill you and you're trying to survive, and then you show up and there's a river, and then like Tom Petty's the mayor, and like imagine how chill that city is in a post-apocalyptic environment. I'm telling you, he only did like one movie, I think, but
Okay, so which do you give the edge to? Meatloaf in his one movie or Tom Petty?
oh, I mean, you got to go with Tom Petty. I mean,
Okay.
he's free falling next to a waterfall. I mean, come on.
Uh and we'll have to talk about your love for
Bad.
the the post the post one of the movies that critically panned, audience panned. I think there's probably 10 people on the internet
Didn't
that
we
like
just
that
say? Didn't
movie.
we just say that like Fight Club was also panned? So
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. Okay, so I'll leave that as a mental note to bring up because that'll probably take 30 minutes of you just for a Kevin Costner podcast about just the Postman alone. Okay, okay. Let me see if I have. So on in the vein of like guys who didn't do a lot, but he this next guy he like did a lot, but also did not do a lot because they created movies just for him, and that is Elvis. Um, they Elvis is interesting because he's like the only guy that wanted to do acting and they like made movies just for him to be the star.
yeah.
A lot of these other guys, they have these little bit parts. Timberlake has like an actual roles. Meatloaf had this little bit part. Tom Petty, little bit part.
Well, let's not
But
call it a bit part. I mean, really. I mean, you just
he's okay. So he's got a big part in a movie everyone hates. Yeah, I don't know which.
that's pretty. That's. I'm just saying that's strong language.
Okay, okay.
YouTube. Maybe mute this guy. YouTube.
Would you rather as an actor though tell your friends that you have a bit part in a big blockbuster or you have a big part in a bad movie?
Ugh. What? How much are you making?
Yeah. There you go. There you go. But yeah, no, Elvis is unique because they made movies like just for him. He didn't do to the best of my knowledge, he didn't do any films that were like the big like he had a role that he auditioned for that was like not for Elvis.
Yeah, yeah. He had a few roles that he did turn down that would have been like sort of co-starring, and he had to kind of go through the I don't know, like he didn't have to audition necessarily, but like he wasn't guaranteed it, but he turned down a few of those roles just because he was worried about contemporary actors not taking him seriously or like trying to overshadow him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um, did you have another one to throw out there?
Yeah, I want to throw out uh it's hard to call him like a runner up or whatever, the term is like because he's had such a long career at this point, but um I got to give big props to Donnie Wahlberg.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
he's been starring in the show Blue Bloods for gosh, it has to be 15-ish years or something. Um
Long, long
a
time.
long time, and it's a police drama, and it's he plays that role really well. But the reason I would give him some serious props is one of his first roles was actually in Band of Brothers, and he was in Band of Brothers through the whole 10-part series.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
So
I
like some people
forgot
were in
that
it
it's
just for a
him.
second. Like Jimmy Fallon actually has a bit part in Band of Brothers for like a hot minute.
Also, Donnie has done Blue Bloods for 14
Yeah,
years.
14, yeah, I thought 15 years. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and he was absolutely fantastic. He's like at 20 to 25 years at it, like, is get some to do really well. And he'll climb up the list, you know.
And I think it's interesting because he has the rare opportunity for a musician slash, performer to be known. I think most people, obviously, the name of the family, he's kind of
Yeah,
known for just being a Wahlberg, but I think now he's known for being an actor,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is a weird like. You start off as something else, but now you're known for a completely different thing, which is very interesting because there's not a lot of people on this list, even like the best ones. Like if you go through, our top fives, like most of those people are still known for music,
yeah, yeah. Although,
which is
you
interesting.
gotta imagine like you're like myself, you're a movie savant, and so like the history of certain things, whatever. There's a whole legion of people that like see some of these actors and they don't even realize that they were musicians at some point, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um, Uh, there's another guy I'll throw up that I have really enjoyed as of late. When he started, he was not as good, kind of like his music, which I don't really like. And I think this guy fits into the mold of maybe he might be known as an actor more than his music career when all is said and done. And that is Common.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
he's I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was like, I really enjoy Common lately because he started in some movies that were just kind of and he was just kind of because he was a rapper turned actor. But then in the last 5-10 years or so, he was in the second John Wick movie. And really good in that. And then more recently, my wife and I have been watching this show Silo on Apple, and he is so good in that show as like a police officer for this silo where people live.
What was that the one that is also starring Tim Robbins?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. So okay, yeah.
Yeah, Tim Robbins
Who's
and
also, by the way, he's a weird character, a person or whatever, in that like in like a couple times he has been absolutely perfectly cast, and then so many times he's like not, and it's one of the like it's one of those crazy careers where it's like the Shawshank Redemption, and then like
yeah.
you have like the Hudsucker Proxy and a few other ones, and all of a sudden it's like like he tries stuff and nothing works because it has to be almost like not written for, but like just perfectly cast for him, you know.
I think a lot of it too, this is a sidebar because he's not a musician turned actor, but I think a lot of it for him is he's freakishly tall.
He's very gangly, and yeah, it's
He's a goofy looking dude.
well, it's also like
Um,
it makes me think of like Liam Neeson, in that I learned this way back in the day when they were doing the Attack of the Clones movie and the sequels, and George Lucas cast him, and he didn't realize how tall Liam Neeson is, and so Liam Neeson showed up, and
yeah,
Liam
he's
is
six
like,
four.
yeah, he's like a giant dude, and so like, but not all the time, but a lot of the times in Hollywood, when you're building a set, you build it to a 6 foot scale because most male actors are like 5'7", 5'8", so you don't have to worry about the other the top bit. But Liam Neeson was taller than all the sets, and George Lucas was like, "Oh my God, we have to rebuild all this." So it just reminds me of like like the tall kind of lanky guys. It's a little
Yeah,
trickier to cast them.
yeah. Um,
Also because they're going to be, you put Liam Neeson next to like a Tom Cruise, he's going to be like, it's going to be like this. It's going to be ridiculous, you know.
right, right. What was yeah, Common. We were talking about
Common, yeah, yeah,
Common.
yeah.
Uh, his delivery style, I think what's making him better as of late compared to his delivery style is very um it, in the wrong movies it's very boring and very like
Monotone.
just monotone.
Yeah.
But I think in the right roles, I think he's getting better at choosing roles, and his delivery style is working for him in the newer projects that he's doing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think Common's a lot of fun, and I am excited to see what else he does
Would
next.
would you say he is in the hip hop, whatever the genre you want to call it, hip hop artist turned actors? You think he's sort of like bubbling on top at this point.
I think so, because I don't think people could name off the top of their head a Common song, but they can probably name a movie that Common's in.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. In fact, he's probably done more commercials than he's done music videos at this point. I mean,
Probably.
yeah.
Probably.
Because but there are other, like, ones that have, like, I don't particularly, like, not a great fan of their acting, but, like, a lot of people like Queen Latifah. I don't particularly she's not my thing in terms of, like, her acting, but, like, she's carved out, a career as an actress, and, um, Ice-T for all his pros and cons or whatever. In fact, I do have to bring this up because I know Ice-T's been in Law& and Order for, I think it's SVU probably for whichever one he's on,
Forever.
and they're all the same. But he was in a movie called
Ice-T.
Surviving the Game with John Lithgow, and
Ooh.
John Lithgow plays a group of hunters, and it's a modern day version of the short story The Most Dangerous Game.
Huh.
So they basically
Okay.
take Ice-T plays like a homeless guy, and they offer him food and money or whatever, and they fly him to like Alaska or someplace, and they just release him, and they say, "You got 12 hours, and we're coming for you." And
Wow.
like,
What's this called again?
it's called Surviving the Game.
Okay. I'll have to watch that. That
Yeah,
sounds interesting.
yeah,
Okay. I
and
like that.
it's like
I love that short story.
yeah, and
So,
John Lithgow, who is always fantastic, and even this kind of
so good.
schlocky. It's not an amazing film, of course, but like he plays a villain, and it's just like it's fantastic.
Okay. Okay.
I hope it's John
Yeah.
Lithgow. Maybe my memory off. I don't know. I think it's him. Wait, maybe it. No,
Okay.
wait.
What
Oh,
is it?
wait, no, no,
What's the
no, no,
movie
no, no,
called?
no,
What's it called?
no, no, no. Wait, it's Surviving the Game. It's with shoot, Rutger Hauer.
Oh.
I
Okay.
I believe. Oh, and
From
I think Charles S. Dutton is in it.
hold up. Let's see here.
Charles
Yeah,
S. Dutton,
it's
who was the guy
Rutger
in
Hauer.
Rudy.
It's Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey, and Charles S. Dutton.
Yeah, Gary Busey. Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
That's
It's
amazing.
it's
All right.
it's like
It,
you can't say it's great and you can't say it's terrible. It's just it is what it is. Ice-T has like the
okay.
long dreadlocks, and he's running through the forest, and he's trying to like survive, and
I'm gonna have to watch that. I love Rutger Hauer.
yeah,
That dude is so good.
yeah.
Um,
I
man.
Rutger Hauer, uh, either a top 10 underrated actor of all time or a top 10 actor of all time who didn't get the role to make him go over the top.
Mm,
I don't know. We'll have to
mm.
do one of those at some point, but
Yeah, yeah. Because his Blade Runner performance is incredible. Just that monologue, which is mostly ad-libbed, is insane.
yeah,
Um, okay, back to the topic at hand.
no,
We
exactly.
had Ice-T. I'll throw another one, another rapper turned actor as like an honorable mention. Ice Cube. Ice Cube's been in quite a few things. I don't think he's the world's greatest actor, but I think he's great for the type of movies that he does.
Well,
Um,
he was great in what's the one he did in where they're in Compton? I think it was Compton, where they had the gif where him and the other guy are going.
oh, are you talking about the Jump Street remakes?
No, but he was in those too. This
Because
was
he's
this
in
was from like the
those.
late '90s. With who was the guy who played with Jackie Chan in Rush Hour?
Oh no, with Chris Tucker?
Yeah, so it's a gif with him and Chris Tucker reacting to something, and it's like one of the most popular gifs in
Oh, you're talking about Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, he's great in Friday.
yeah.
That's good. Um, yeah, I like and also like they're not for everybody, but there's like four of them, maybe five of them. The barbershop movies are
Oh yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like those. Those are good to put on. So
I
yeah,
like
as
I
far
like the
as
fact that he doesn't take himself super seriously. So like he can do these kind of maybe he's done some other ones. I don't know his whole filmography off the top of my head, but he has done a lot of comedies, and he has good comedic timing in the movies.
yeah, yeah. He did a movie with Kevin Hart called Ride Along,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty funny. I liked that.
Yeah. Yep.
He's good at playing the serious, tough,
Yeah.
mofo up against some like nerdy weird guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And he doesn't.
I like that.
What I like about his stuff is that he doesn't stray too far. He knows what he can do.
No.
He's not interested in becoming some like, oh, I want to be in a World War I movie. It's like, no, no, no. Like he's
Yeah.
just gonna stick on his path and he's fine.
And his son is actually a really good actor, O'Shea Jackson.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh, I thought you were gonna say O'Shea Cube. Okay,
No. O'Shea Jackson, I think
okay.
is his name. But he's really good. He was in Straight Outta Compton where he played his dad.
Oh, was it his son who played him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, all right.
And then he's like gone on to do a bunch of other stuff,
Yeah.
but like he's pretty good too. Not that he's a
Boy, he
I'm
looks like
sure
his dad. I thought that
he
was.
does.
I thought they
Yeah.
de-aged him somehow or whatever.
No, that's his dad. That's his kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, not rapper, but similar. Um, there's a um with like the hip hop genre. I've got J Lo on there.
J-Lo.
Um,
She is not
yeah,
hard to watch on screen.
no, and she has a musical coming out soon. That looks pretty good. Bunch of Broadway producers attached to that. It would be interesting. But she did um a lot of movies that were really good and a lot of movies that were really bad.
And then a lot of successful rom-coms. So she's
Mm-hmm.
kind of run the gamut. Like she did U-Turn, an Oliver Stone film, which I believe was with uh, uh Sean Penn.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was like just a very weird sort of like thriller kind of a film. And then she did Blood and Roses with Jack Nicholson, and she did what I think one of the best caper films of all time, which was Out of Sight with George
Yes.
Clooney,
I love that
with
movie.
Don Cheadle, with Steve Zahn and Ving Rhames, and just the list goes on and on. It's just such a great film. And I think she's really good. And then of course Anaconda, the legend.
Yes. Yes.
Quick
And
aside,
then
I've actually been on an anaconda hunt.
really.
Yeah, in the Amazon. I was in the Western Amazon, and I went on a safari for 4 or 5 days. And one of the guides, so we went, I think it was like 3 or 4 hours in a Jeep on like just dirt, muddy roads to canoes, and then 4 hours upriver in canoes to like
Oh.
these stilt houses. And one of the afternoons, the guide says, "Hey, do you guys want to go on an anaconda hunt?" And my first thought was, well, I've survived so far. Let's give it a shot. So there's six of us. There's six of us going. There's me, another American, two French, two Frenchies, and two Israelis, and then the guide. So we go along the boat, and we climb up the bank, and we go over the bank into a swamp, and and they say for us to spread out, so about 10 to 20 feet in between us, and just kind of walk across, almost like you're kind of like scaring up like a pheasant. But in this case, it's a man-eating giant lizard that you're looking for. And so we're
Yeah.
we're walking, and after like 15 minutes, like someone spots something in the water, because there's like the water fluctuates between like dry, grassy, mushy stuff to like 2 feet deep, which is really disconcerting when you don't have written the proper boots on and you just sink like 2 feet down.
Yeah.
So someone spots something, and one of the guides grabs it, and it's an anaconda. It's like an 8-foot anaconda. And we're like, this is amazing. We're taking pictures. I have pictures I can show you sometime. We take the pictures, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then the guide is like, oh no, we have another 2 hours to spare. And I'm like, but we already found the snake. We don't need any more of the hours. Like, we've done the thing.
We can get out of
No,
here.
but everyone else is like, oh, let's stay. And I'm like, okay, I can't go back by myself. So we keep going, and we get to the end of the swamp. So like an hour later, and like somebody steps on something alive in the water, and the guide sees it, and it's a different color because the anaconda has like the patterns. So this snake is black as like death. And we're like, what is it? And it's giant. It's giant. And then we had two guides, and the two guides are diving for it. And we're like, what is even going on? What? They didn't do this with the anaconda. And so they wrangle the thing. One guy has the head and the other guy has the end. And they're like, and they tell us in their broken English and our broken Spanish, grab the snake's body. And we all of us all six of us are able to grab it. That's how long it is. It ended up being 14, 16 feet long or something. And they said it was some kind of cobra or viper or something. And they said, if it bites you, you will bleed out of your eyes and your ears, and you're dead in 4 hours.
Oh, and they
Now,
were like, just touch this thing.
right. And I'm like, but you didn't say we're going on a deadly viper catching thing. You said we're going for an anaconda, and I know what they do. They wrap around you and they squeeze. This thing bites you and you die. And
And
so,
bleed from your
right,
eyes.
yeah. And so we have the thing, and now I'm like, okay, now what do we do? Like, do we kill it? Do we ever? No, they're like, oh no, we're just gonna release it. And I'm like, you can't just,
Oh,
you can't just release the snake next to us. And so they go like a full 10, 15 feet away, and they re-release it into the water. Yeah.
oh,
So, and then they're like, okay, we can go back. And now I'm looking at this field, the swamp, and I know in the far distance is the boat. And I'm like, I have to cross the field that I now know has these poisonous, terrible monsters in it, in addition to the anacondas. And so
that's terrible.
about halfway,
It's never good when there's a snake that makes you more scared than the
oh
anaconda.
my God. And so we get about halfway across, and like nothing against them, but these two Israeli dudes are just, they're kind of insane. And they're just kind of, ha, we saw whatever. Da, da, da. And then one of them steps on something, a snake in the water, and it gets away. And the guide's like, freeze, don't move. They don't bite trees. And we're like, what do you mean they don't bite trees? They're like, well, if you stay still, they'll think you're a tree root. I'm like, but how long do we stay still? We're in the middle of the swamp. The sun's going down. Like, this is ridiculous.
Right,
So
right.
after a while, we stay still for 10, 15 minutes, and then they're like, yeah, it's probably fine. We're like, oh my God. And then we go back. We actually catch another anaconda on the way back. And then we do make it back to the boat. Obviously, I'm still here. But, oh boy.
That's intense.
I'm not
That's
afraid of
nuts.
snakes, but man alive, I don't know if I'd do that again.
You know did you know on the subject of Anaconda, did you know they're coming out with a remake?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there were a bunch of sequels. I know that.
It's Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
Oh, I did. I saw them doing a little weird, little tiny little promo.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah. And it's a great way to do a remake because the premise of this remake is two friends are trying to remake their favorite film, which is called Anaconda. So it's like an Inception, like
Yeah.
poking fun of the fact that it's a remake, and I like that.
It's like a film
And
within a film within a film sort of a thing. Yeah.
yes, yes, and those two guys are the perfect guys to do that.
They're
I'm all
they're they're
in.
so funny. Yeah.
I'm all in. That's great. Yeah. So J Lo, hit miss, mega miss on some like Geely. Oh,
Oh.
and then there's
Oh, Ben
a
Affleck,
move.
by the way, Ben Affleck is like that too. He has so many terrible movies, and he has so many great
Somebody
movies.
just
It's so
yeah.
weird.
Yeah. We should probably have a list. We could probably do a podcast of actors who are in the greatest movies of all time and the worst movies of all time because there's a lot.
John Wright
Um,
Davies.
there you go. Yeah. Great example. Um, uh, J Lo also has Made in Manhattan with with oh shoot, I'm blanking on his name.
Oh,
He's in Schindler's List. He plays Voldemort. Ray Fiennes.
Ray
Ray
Fiennes. Yeah,
Fiennes.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's a dopey movie, but I like that movie.
No, I don't watch.
Um,
I don't really. I mean, I've seen some of her films. I don't watch the rom coms, but if I'm flipping the channels and she's in a scene, I will pause because she's worth keeping an eye on for a minute.
worth keeping an eye on. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So J Lo was an honorable mention for me. Do you have another honorable mention?
Yeah. Harry Connick Jr.
Ooh,
So, I
okay.
mean, obviously he's like a legend in his well, how would you describe his music?
Crooner?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, because he's one of those guys like a crooner. I think that's good because he could do a Christmas album or he could do sort of jazzy New Orleans stuff. He can do everything. And he's super successful and great at that. But occasionally he'll step up and do a film. And one of the first films I saw him in was a movie called Copycat with Sigourney Weaver.
Ooh,
Um,
I have not seen it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
yeah, it's a serial killer movie. It's in the genre. It's like there's nothing, it's not. It doesn't like reimagine the genre or anything. It's a what it is. And then he was in some indie films. One indie film I really liked him in was called Little Man Tate, which I believe was also with Jodie Foster.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then of course the movie everyone has to watch around 4th of July, Independence Day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's just you just have to do it. I mean, if you have the time, you got to put that on and watch it. But yeah, he's not he doesn't force it, which is I think is the key for musician, singer, whatever. If you're transitioning over, don't force it. Use the charisma you have on stage, and do something a little simple, and then some of them continue to do more complicated stuff, and that's great. But I think he's really good. Yeah,
For sure, for sure. I love Harry Connick, and I think uh he's also another one of those guys that like knows what he is and he doesn't try to do too much past what he does,
yeah,
which really works I think with a lot of these musicians turned actors. Some of the ones that don't work are the guys that are trying to overact, like maybe your Ice-T, where it's like, okay, you're like pushing the envelope on what's believable because I don't buy you as whatever your
yeah,
character
yeah.
is. In the same vein of crooner, I have Dean Martin on my honorable
Okay,
mentions
sure. Yeah.
list. He did two of my favorite John Wayne movies, The Sons of Katie Elder
Hmm.
and Rio Bravo. And Rio Bravo also had Ricky Nelson is a another musician turned actor, but that's one of the only films he did, and he died at like I think age 45 or 35, super young.
Dean Martin did.
No, 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 Ricky
Oh,
Nelson.
oh, because I was like, I've seen
Yeah,
all kinds of
no,
video of
no.
Dean Martin when he's really old. Okay.
Dean Martin lived a very good life. He
Yeah.
he lived a long time. But Dean did a bunch of movies, and none of them were like Oscar level movies. So I didn't have him like in the upper echelon, but I really enjoy when he acted. It
Yeah.
was fun. It was like that's Dean Martin, but like it was I don't know, it's just kind of like one of those where you know that's the guy, but
Yeah.
he's still a different guy. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So he's on my list.
Hmm. I would throw I'll throw an honorable mention to a lady who I think is going to go on to do even better things in acting, and that's Lady Gaga.
Ah, yeah, sure.
And I only put her on the honorable mention not because of her talent. It's still, she still had not done enough to really know where she is and sort of all the stuff, but she's picked the right roles, which are important,
Yeah.
and she's done very well at it. What was it? The American Horror Story,
Hmm.
Star is
Hmm.
Born, obviously the Joker one, which I didn't see because it looked dumb. But
And everyone said it was terrible.
did you see it or no?
No, not yet. I started it and then fell asleep, but not because of the movie, just because it was one of those things like I know I'm gonna fall asleep, so I'm gonna put something on in case I don't fall asleep,
Yeah.
and that was it. So yeah, it's critically panned and audience panned. Like no one liked that
Yeah.
movie.
It's like, so okay, so maybe she has her basement movie. That is possible. I mean,
Yeah.
and like I said, because I haven't seen it, I'm not going to say she did bad in it. I don't know. It just seemed like a dumb idea.
I think another category, because I think supposedly she did okay in that movie. I think another good category for a podcast would be actors who gave the best performance in terrible movies.
I'll write that down.
Because I like that. Because there's definite Al Pacino and Jack and Jill is arguably awesome, but that movie is terrible.
Well, it also speaks to some people who will take a job because they don't care and they're bored. Like Christopher
Yeah.
Walken's like that. He'll take jobs. He had a job in a ping pong movie.
I like King Ping Pong because the balls go ping and pong.
Right. And that's basically all he said in the movie. And like, but I'm sure he walked away going, "Hey, I got 100K for 2 days worth of work."
$100,000 for playing with balls.
Yeah. So it's you the it's like the guy. So like Christopher Walken, like he's in one of my favorite films of all time, which is Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, and that's
Such a good movie.
like he just talking about Christopher, he has a great role. He does it supremely well. And you know that he's a guy who can like walk onto a studio set knowing it's an important film and an important role. And then he can walk onto ping pong movie and go, yeah, okay, these guys had an extra 100 grand to spend on somebody. They spent it on me, so I'm gonna schlock it up and completely overact. And he's totally okay with it. And I think that's why everyone's okay with certain actors doing that.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Um,
Yeah. So anyway, Lady
yeah.
Gaga, I'll give her like I think she's gonna be making more choices, and she might make like a little more careful choices after the Joker movie. But that's what's gonna happen is like, you know, anything I had ever done regarding film or friends of mine who have been in films and different things, it's like you go into it and you have to like there's such a high trust level of the director and the cinematographer. You don't even know who's editing it, maybe, or what the soundtrack's going to sound like. So you're kind of like, as an artist, what I would think of it as, like you're putting a drawing of a character or a creature on a blank piece of paper, and then you'll leave the drawing unfinished, and other people come in to fill in, and you
Mhm.
just don't know. Like, if you go to Spielberg, it's like, oh, hey, Spielberg, do you have John Williams scoring your film? And he's like, yeah, of course. Or you're Tarantino, and it's you know. Um, Morricone, who might be scoring it. Like, so you go into certain directors and or certain producers, and what you're getting into. And a lot of them are just like, this might work. How many times
Yeah.
is there like some amazing movie we watch, and we watch like the behind the scenes interview with the people, and they're like, I walked into it and I didn't know if it'd be any good. And then they do the film and they're like, it's like a blockbuster or whatever.
Right. Right. Yeah. I had a train of thought and then I lost it. No, you're completely correct. Uh, another actor that I had, well, musician turned actor, I should say, uh, only did like 3 notable films, but they were really good. Is Whitney Houston.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, The Bodyguard, which is arguably one of the best Kevin Costner films, or at least I think it's one of the best.
I mean, there is The Postman. Let's not.
Oh my, stop it with the Postman.
No, I
No.
wouldn't say it's his best film. I would say, though, that it's inarguably one of the best romantic films of the era.
Yeah, yeah. And then she's also in Waiting to Exhale
Yep.
and the Preacher's Wife, which I think had Denzel, maybe.
Maybe that's a while
Uh,
ago that came out.
yeah. It's Denzel and Lionel Richie and Courtney B. Vance.
Courtney B. Vance, who was also in The Hunt for Red October.
He's such a good
He's
actor.
he's so excellent. Yeah.
That dude is real good. Yeah, Whitney Houston. Did you have any more honorable mentions? I have one more, but he might be on your list as well.
I have one, and that would be David Bowie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's just it's funny if you look up his IMDb or his like Wikipedia filmography or whatever movies, and it's like starring him. So it's like, of the movies that aren't him playing himself, it's like Labyrinth, The Prestige, which he did
Yeah.
amazing in. It's like he didn't do many of them, but when he did,
No.
and like I think with most iconic like figures, he has enough charisma to like pull it off without even having to act.
Yeah, he plays very eccentric roles when he did do movies, like the Labyrinth when he plays the Goblin King. Like
Yeah,
he's very just like it's David Bowie, but like you can tell like he's got like a mysticism about him.
yeah,
There's like a and the same thing is true with the Prestige when he plays Tesla. Um, there's the very like I mean the whole movie is mystifying, but like it's a very like, whoa, I need to learn more about this guy. Like, what is this guy? Like, he has like an enigma kind
yeah.
of quality to his acting,
And
and
he
I thought I like that.
and he also played in a film about an artist. And like I've said before, like I think art movies about artists are hit or miss, because it's a lot of times it's very hard to make someone making art, making music, whatever, compelling. Right. It's
Mm,
just like
for sure.
there was a really good movie with Ed Harris, who he did a movie about the artist Pollock.
Oh, okay.
Pollock's the guy, for the audience, who's like, you see like a 10-foot by 10-foot canvas, and it's just a bunch of like lines that are like knotted and everything. He was the guy that was like big into that. But he did make it compelling because he was a good enough actor. But there's a film called Basquiat, and Bowie played Andy Warhol in that film,
Okay.
and it's a
Okay.
fantastic film has like Dennis Hopper and who was the guy who starred in the HBO movie Westworld?
You mean the show?
Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright was in it.
Oh, Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright
Yeah.
played
Okay.
Basquiat, and he was absolutely
Uh,
stunning in that
I'll
film.
have to watch that. When did that come out? Like the
90,
early 2000s?
94 maybe.
Oh, 90s.
Yeah, it has
Okay.
Michael
Okay.
Wincott. It's one of those things where when you look at the cast list, it's an ensemble that you're like, what?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for you guys watching, Bowie's in it he has a little scene here and there, whatever, but like he plays a very supporting role to Basquiat, who is like a New York street artist who He literally like he did graffiti-esque kind of stuff, but he did a lot of like art on walls, and then he got famous, and it's sort of like the
Hmm.
rise and fall of this guy who didn't have a long career because he got, the drugs and the fame and all the stuff. So
I'll have to watch that.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Now we are on to our upper echelon of musicians turn actors. For me, I have a lot of people that have won Oscars. I put that as kind of like a something I was looking at.
Okay.
Um but the first guy that I have does not have any Oscars. But I still love his performances, and that is Tom Waits.
Ah, yeah. Yep.
Tom Waits, he played Renfield in the 1992 Dracula from Coppola. And then
With Keanu, of course.
yes,
The
with
great
Keanu. Yeah.
Keanu. Do you do Keanu?
I've been working on Keanu. Keanu's hard to do his normal voice. When I do him, he always ends up sounding like a surfer, like from Bill and Ted's
Which is sort of
or
like makes sense because he's from Hawaii and he kind of he's
like
a life like that.
excellent.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
just like it's just
yeah.
very
And you have
yeah.
like he's famous for
Um,
these John Wick movies where he almost doesn't speak. So it's like
yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
"You knew I
But
would come." It's like, well, okay, yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, we know that, John.
But yeah, Tom Waits, Dracula, and then he has a small part in the Seven Psychopaths. And then I think we were talking about this the other day, but he's in the Book of Eli.
Yeah, with Denzel again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Tom Waits, uh there's another movie on Netflix, and it's a anthology movie where there's like different short stories in one movie. It's called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Hmm. I've heard.
It was a Cohen film.
Ah, that's why I
Um,
heard of it.
I
Okay.
don't, yeah, and it has a bunch of big heavy hitters, but they're like individual vignettes of a Western persuasion. Um, the titular character being Tim Blake Nielsen as Buster Scruggs.
Oh, okay.
But he's in. Tom Waits is in there as a prospector, and then bringing up the last podcast we did, he was in The Old Man and the Gun, Robert Redford
Oh, yeah.
film.
Okay. Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and then not that it's his acting voice, but his regular speaking voice. Tom Waits' voice heavily inspired and influenced how Heath Ledger did the Joker.
Really?
If you listen to Tom Waits do an interview, is very, very down here.
Yeah.
Tom
Yeah.
Waits is very, and then if you listen to the Joker, it's like the same guy. Like I'll send you a video later of like, dang, that's Heath Ledger's Joker, and
We'll give us
supposedly,
a little of a Heath Ledger's Joker. For those that don't know,
uh,
our boy Noah here is he's a comedian and stand up and like does a zillion voices, and it's amazing.
ha he ho ho ho. I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So if you listen to Tom Waits, you can hear it, and supposedly that was a big influence on the voice. So that's another nod that I think is interesting because he's got a lot of music. He composed a lot of movie uh, short films as well. His IMDb is very
It didn't.
chock full.
Did he compose some of the music for the movie Dead Man?
I believe
There's
so.
a there's a movie called Dead Man that Jim Jarmusch made, and it's a black and white western with Johnny Depp in the wilderness.
Supposedly, I don't see anything about him. I see Neil Young compose the
Yeah,
music for
Neil
that.
Young did. Yeah. Well, so anyway, for those of you like, there's a lot of people like Johnny Depp, a lot of people like, but if you want something bizarre but also has Johnny Depp, it's a black and white film. It's a western. It's a period piece starring Johnny Depp, who wears like a top hat or something. But I tell you what, it's worth watching. In the music and the soundtrack and they have like they use like an electric guitar, not electric guitar, but like a what do they call it? Like a steel guitar kind of sound to it.
Steel guitar. I love steel
It's a
guitars.
bizarre indie films back when Depp was doing a lot of indie films, and that was one of the ones. That was back in the day
Okay.
when I had a roommate who ran a Blockbuster Video, and he comes home one night and he's like, "Yo, Caleb, check this out. He holds up the VHS, not a DVD, VHS, and he's like, and it just says Dead Man, and it says Johnny Depp, and he has like a hole in his chest, and I'm like, what? And so yeah, of course, our whole evening immediately was watching this film, and yeah, and for those of you who wonder why I have the movie knowledge that I have, that's part of the lore.
It's on HBO and it's on Hulu and it's on Tubi if anyone wants to
Okay,
watch it.
yeah, you guys
I
should
looked
check it
it
out
up
for
because
something interesting.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover's in that and Lance Henriksen. That's cool. That's a good. Oh, and John Hurt. What a cast.
Yeah, it's a great cast.
Jared Harris.
Yep.
Okay. Billy Bob Thornton. What in the world? Alfred Molina. Good gravy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah. Tom Waits. We got there somehow, but Tom Waits. Do you have an actor for your upper echelon that you want to put out there?
The little handful of actors I have are very different. They're nothing in common really, so they're all just very disparate kind of stuff. So I'm gonna I'll start with an old school one, and I want to give a big shout out. I don't have to give her a big shout out because she's won Oscars and Tonys and Emmys and Barbra Streisand. Yeah. Like I don't, all politics and all that kind of stuff aside, I don't care about that stuff. Like she came in and like she was able to, in like The Way We Were, she was able to create with Robert Redford like one of the most iconic romantic films of all time. With Hello Dolly, she came in and created like, well, she didn't create it, but like someone else wrote the music and everything. But like she like encompassed the character with Walter Matthau, and it's just like an incredible film.
That movie is so good. It's directed by Gene Kelly, which a lot of people forget, which is crazy.
I forgot that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So directed by Gene Kelly, Walter Matthau. Which fun fact about Walter Matthau? Did you know that the guy that voices Homer Simpson used Walter Matthau as a building block to creating the voice of Homer Simpson?
What?
Yeah. If you listen to Homer Simpson, and I'll kind of do some Homer Simpson. Ooh, well, Miss Jolly Levi, there's like a bass of Walter Matthau. Like he's got a very Miss Levi. Like there's a very like a I don't know the quality of it. I can't really like it's a certain timbre.
He also Matthau had a very heavy accent in that movie, a very heavy Yonkers accent, and that was like part of the deal in the movie was that like he was like kind of this unkept, like well-off, owner of this mercantile, if I remember right, something like that.
Yeah. But that's Dan Castellaneta who does the voice of
okay. Yeah.
Homer Simpson. But it's just interesting. I saw that in an interview. But yeah, she's got so many good movies. Barbra Streisand, Yentl, with Mandy Patinkin.
A Star is Born, which is with Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's version is a remake with Jeff Bridges. No, that was Bradley Cooper, right?
Bradley Cooper, yeah.
But the Star is Born originally, she won the Oscar for that, and Chris Christopherson, who also he's not on my list, but he actually started off as a musician first.
Yeah, that's true.
And he did A Star is Born. Obviously, he was in the Blade movies. He was in all kinds. Like he. When I looked him up, I thought he was in more stuff, but he was in fewer things. But he was in some quality films.
Okay, there's another honorable mention for us.
Yeah. And also, Streisand was in a really good film for those that want like, it's not a rom-com. I said rom-com. It's a drama, but it's The Prince of Tides, which is a fantastic film if you guys want to see it. With it's a younger Nick Nolte who's dealing with stuff, and she's the love interest or whatever. Anyway, worth a watch for sure.
Okay. Up next on my list, keeping with like the movie musical guy, I've got Bing Crosby.
Yeah, he's on my list too, of course.
Yeah. I mean, White Christmas, to be in that musical at all, it's an iconic staple of the Christmas genre. But also, he sings the titular song.
Yeah,
like it's not like written for him, but like he is synonymous with the like he's just like he's the best.
And he, like, it is a musical, but there are other songs in there that are not as iconic as that, but that are excellent songs in that movie. And it actually co-stars one of my favorite actors ever, which is Danny Kaye.
Danny Kaye.
And we'll
Love
talk
Danny
about him
Kaye.
more in some fashion. We'll fit him in somehow.
We could probably do a niche podcast just on Danny Kaye for
Yeah.
the 2 people that will watch that.
For all like
So,
the 3 Danny Kaye fans that are out there.
all 5 of us, we could start a Danny Kaye fan club. I'm
Right?
all with it. I'm all with it. Bing Crosby nominated for 3 Oscars, won one of them for Going My Way.
Yeah. And we can't forget
uh,
Holiday Inn, the other holiday staple
Yeah.
that people watch.
he's been in 3 different like Christmassy movies. The 2, and then I believe the Bells of St. Mary's is
Yeah.
also
I believe so,
Christmassy.
yeah. And then he did a ton of films with Bob Hope,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah,
like just
yeah.
sort of like fun movies, but like, like I've mentioned, he has this, and some people do, he has this effortless charm to his
Yeah.
delivery.
And he's also in High Society, which is another good musical
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
with him and Frank Sinatra, who is also on my list.
Well,
I
hey,
have
good segue.
Frank
There we go.
Sinatra.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to do 2 in a row for myself, but Frank Sinatra, man, that dude was in some movies. It's so interesting because
From
Frank
Here to
Sinatra,
Eternity.
yes. Frank Sinatra was in, like, he was one of those guys that, like, obviously he is known as one of like the goats of the music world,
Sure.
but like as far as acting, like he didn't do the Elvis thing where it was like, I'm Frank Sinatra. Like, he
Right.
would really try to be the guy that he was like in the script to be. And, he's got the Rat Pack movies. They've got, Ocean's 11 and Robin and the Seven Hoods, which has one of the best songs about alcohol you'll ever hear.
Mhm.
But then he's got, From Here to Eternity, the original Manchurian Candidate.
Mhm.
And then there's also I had it in front of me. Where did it go? Van Ryan's Express is a movie. Other night I told you to check it out, but it's a American POW leads a group of British prisoners to escape a German camp. So it's very Great Escape, but it's real good. And then, he did the musicals, Guys and Dolls, On the Town, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So it's like a big variety, Anchors Away, a
Yep.
big variety of like musicals, dramas, comedies. I like the versatility from a guy who doesn't need to act at all.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't have to do it. Yeah.
if he did no acting, he'd still be one of the greatest vocalists of all time.
Well,
which is crazy.
he was like one of the original Rat Pack where they were doing the films together, and it was just, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like, sometimes for these like pods, we'll do a certain amount of research, and like, we're also limited on time, how deep a dive we can go. But it was like, so I didn't
Yeah.
research this, but I don't know how he actually like, it strikes me that maybe he met the right group of people that were kind of like, this is just fun. And they
Yeah.
just did it because they didn't have to do it. It's fun,
Yeah. I mean, when you do that too, you get to work with different kinds of creatives. Like he gets to do stuff with Gene Kelly, and then when he's in other projects, he's working with his Rat Pack boys. And then, gets to work with, he does Guys and Dolls, and he gets to work with Marlon Brando, which is like so cool.
Yeah.
Like, so he gets to work with all these cool people that maybe he wouldn't have worked with otherwise, just singing. So yeah. What's another one you have?
Well, I think pretty obviously you have to put Will Smith in there for he started off, and I don't know that he had a real long career as just before he got into acting for just the rapping and DJing and stuff, but like he definitely started off as that, and then one of his first roles was 6 Degrees of Separation with Donald Sutherland, and just a drama, and he acquitted himself really well, and then he was started to get bigger roles, and obviously he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then because he was kind of a goofy character on them, I think that's where he kind of was starting to get like the Bad Boys movies and some stuff, and then he proved that he had the comedic timing and he could do running around action stuff, and then they're like, then he got like Independence Day fairly young, and then like
Classic.
there was enough little bits of drama in there, but there's also like the action and the running around and the comedic timing. And
Yeah.
that's, I think, right where obviously that film blew up, but that's where his career was like, everyone's like, this guy can do a lot of stuff at this point. And then he went on to like
Yeah.
Ali, Enemy of the State, Men in Black, with Tommy Lee
Yep.
Jones. I mean, that's so
Yep.
great. A friend of mine got to have
Yeah.
got to hang out with him on set once with Tommy Lee.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, his friend was working in Hollywood, and he got to go visit him on set, and it was a film he was doing with Tommy Lee Jones, and it was lunch break, and my buddy Corey, and he's like this big Minnesotan guy, and he's like, "Hey, Tommy, what's going on?" And Tommy's like, "Hey, what's going?" He's a real low, raspy voice, and he's like, "Hey, Corey, what's going on?" And they just hung out for the half hour. Tommy Lee's eating a sandwich, and they're like just shooting the whatever. And
That's
just
cool.
when you see Tommy Lee Jones in films, and you think like, he just seems like a regular dude. He really is a regular guy. So
I
that's my
love
little
it.
Tommy Lee little story there.
I
But
love it. I love it.
no, but yeah, so Men in Black, I Am Legend, an amazing sci-fi, which
Mm.
Will Smith just loves these sci-fis,
He's good at them. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think he brings an element of the common man, an element of realism to these sci-fi fantasy kind of the realm of like, okay, like Men in Black, for instance.
Yeah.
That could be real. Like there could be those aliens around, but like for all intents and purposes, that's not real. But he brings an element of that. If I was that dude, I would act the same way. If I found out there was a secret society of aliens
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be asked to be part of the government that makes sure the regular people don't find out, that's exactly how I'd
You're like,
behave.
hell no.
Right. Right. Yeah, it is interesting. And he's probably the best to do it as far as musicians turned actors, just for the sheer volume of his like most people, if you ask a common person, will probably name 5 movies before they name 5 of his songs.
Oh yeah.
And not to throw shade on his rap. I think it's fun. I think his rap is fun.
It's just
I
sort of
like
like,
some of
it's like
his songs.
PG-13 rap,
Get
basically.
jiggy with it. Da da da
Yeah,
da da
yeah.
da. Like it's good stuff, but it's like, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's just in such classic movies. And the quality of his films, he really doesn't make awful movies. Like there is seldom a Will Smith film that is like terrible. Usually it's like, all right, that was good.
Oh,
That was okay.
wait. What was that superhero movie that he did?
Hancock.
That was the worst. Actually right now, I'm glad that we're not allowed to swear on YouTube and Spotify and all that, because they'll debunk us or whatever us. Well, we don't make anything, but if we made anything, they would take it all away. But like, I swear to you, after like 10 minutes, I'm like, this is the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen as a superhero movie. I'm turning this off. Terrible. Your point stands. He doesn't make a lot of like mishaps,
No.
He's just
And
not
then
allowed to go to any ceremonies anymore. That's all.
Yeah, no. And then, I didn't see the movie he won the Oscar for, and most people didn't because they're more focused on the fact that he slapped someone before
Also,
he accepted.
it didn't seem interesting. It's like, hey,
No.
here's a guy who took his kids to get tennis lessons.
Well, I think he did the thing that I think Leo's kind of done in the last couple of years. I know we have opinions of agreeing nature on our thoughts about Leo, but he did the thing that actors have been doing lately, where if they've been screwed over in the past for movies they probably should have won an Oscar for, they're doing movies that are perfectly written for them to get an Oscar without them having to actually try.
Yeah.
I'd have to Google at some point. I won't do it now because whatever, but What's Eating Gilbert Grape is a great movie. Johnny Depp's great, and that's one of the rare films where I'm like, Leo's awesome. Leo's really good.
That's sort of that like little chunk of time was well, number one, I thought he was a special person when he was in the film. I was like,
well, that's how good the acting
well, no, right,
is.
yeah.
Like,
at the same time, that I didn't realize. Well, we should have looked. Now we know we can look back, and like this is where we realize he's such a pretentious beep that like he's like, look at me, I can. Well, also he was one of the not the first, but like he learned early on, oh, if I act like, you can't say that word either, if I act like a special person, then maybe I can get an Oscar nod.
Yeah.
Sean
Yeah.
Penn's done this, like,
I
Dustin
think we should do
Hoffman, they all did it.
I legitimately think we should do an episode that's just on our hatred for Leo. I I think there's so much to talk about, and he's in so many movies with people we do love. It would be a very lengthy podcast.
Probably true.
I think it'd be great, and I think it'll do numbers because people will be like, "Who are these goofballs who think they're going to start a
Right?
podcast
Yeah, who's this
by
douchebag just
by
like hitting on
dissing
Leo?
by dissing their like one of the great like layman's by most people one of the greatest actors of all time." Like, get out of here.
We just
Anyways,
call the pod like why we hate Leo.
I like it. I think we should do that for sure. I'm all on board.
Well, if nothing else,
Uh,
we'll get
we can do it. We can do it right before the Oscar season because he's going to get nominated for this new movie that's out, and I think it will hit the algorithm just right because people will be like, "What? People hate Leo? What?"
Well, no, but like I think our subscriber list is going to go up like huge because basically all of the 25 and under women that he dated are going to subscribe to our channel, and that's in the thousands at this point, and that'll start to monetize us. So thank you, Leo, for monetizing us at this point.
Cheers, governor.
Cheers.
Man. I have one more on my list. I don't know if you.
I got one more too, so you go first.
Okay, cool. I have Cher
First.
on my list. Moonstruck. She won the Oscar for. I really love that film. Nicolas Cage.
Well, I'm going to ask about Nicolas Cage because he's my guy, and you got to give me a Nicolas Cage of some kind.
Well, we're here in a movie about the moon. Just bad. And that movie has the late and great Danny Aiello.
Oh, that was that. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. Great film. And then she's also in The Witches of Eastwick, which is like the weirdest George Miller.
Film. Yeah,
it's a George Miller film, and it's such a strange it's got Susan Sarandon and Jack Nicholson, and probably one of the weirdest films I've ever done. Yeah, it's like
well, what's great about Cher is that, like, again, I mentioned this, like, she stays in her lane. Like,
yeah,
she obviously with the Sonny and Cher, she had a lot of screen time in addition to being on stage. So like, once you get comfortable with that camera and what's happening and the directors and all the noises and lights and stuff, and then like, so for her, she knew all the stuff, and then she goes into it and she's very natural what she does. Like, one of my favorite films of hers was Mask with a young Errol Stoltz who plays a I don't know the affliction that he had, but it was a sort of a pituitary growth issue with his face, and so he was made fun of because he looked like he had a mask, but in reality he just had a facial deformity or whatever. Or I don't know what the politically correct term for that is, but anyway, she plays his mom, and that is also starring, what's the guy, Roadhouse,
Patrick Swayze.
No, the old guy, the dude, not the dude, but the dude that talks about the dude in in Big Lebowski and the cowboy hat.
No, I know who you're talking about. Sam Elliott.
Yes,
the dude abides. Coors Light, the banquet beer. You ever put your tongue up against a Ford tire and ran it a couple minutes? You ever watch the flakes fall off your tongue when you're doing that? Just.
No, I love in the Big Lebowski when he's trying to describe when the Asian guy is peeing on his rug, and he's like, the Asian guy,
the guy peed on my rug, man. Really brought the room
together.
So good, man. Like, I don't want to get political or make any whatever, but like I think it was Colbert or Kimmel. I think it was Kimmel. Kimmel had the Big Lebowski in character on his show the other night, and he had a great quote because he's talking about he's talking about like immigration or whatever, and he was like, "We need to get ICE off our streets and back into our drinks, man." Like it's just a great quote. Like whatever you think, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like
It's
the
it's
quote
such
was
a it's
great,
such
and
a
the
great
character is such a
character.
great character.
Yeah,
It's a and people know the dude. Like even if you haven't seen the movie, everyone knows the dude. Like
yeah,
the dude abides. Like
yeah, yeah,
that's like
for sure.
yeah. Um yeah. Uh so that's our
Wait, I have one last one.
oh, you do have one last
I have
one. What is
one,
it?
and
Yeah. What you got?
I'm shocked you don't have it on your list, but it's because probably people forget he started off in a boy band, but Mark Wahlberg, he started
Oh,
off and
okay. Okay.
he was both dancing and singing.
You and the Wahlbergs tonight.
Well, hey, Band of Brothers. You cannot deny Band of Brothers and Mark Wahlberg. I wrote a list down. He was freaky and like terrifying in the movie Fear. He was great in Boogie Nights that people talked about possibly an Oscar for. He was great in the war film Three Kings with Ice Cube. We talked about him. He was great in The Perfect Storm where he plays like a Southie who's going off into, wherever. He was great in the period piece Invincible, where he
Mm-hmm.
played the Eagles player. He was great in the crime drama with Jack Nicholson and unfortunately Leo, The Departed.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of different action films. He did The Fighter where he played an actual fighter. The Transformer film. So I just think, like, I think Will Smith is sort of like that's why there's no top five. Everyone kind of does their own stuff.
Yeah.
But I think people just forget that Mark Wahlberg started as like this boy band ridiculous thing where he was advertising for Calvin Klein or something, and he's like, and there was dancing and singing, whether it's lip synced or not, no one knows, I'm sure, but like he
That's
formed a
where it starts.
long, pretty
Yeah.
decent career, you know?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
That's a good one. I love Mark Wahlberg stuff.
yeah.
And that's another guy where he does make some movies that are objectively not great, but like for the most part,
He doesn't make terrible movies.
he doesn't make bad movies.
No.
Like his movies are either okay, I've seen better, or that was amazing.
Yeah. You got a
Um,
Wahlberg for us? Wait. How about Wahlberg talking about, let's see, how he was Oscar snubbed for Boogie Nights?
Well, I was snubbed. I was snubbed. I didn't get an Oscar. I should have gotten an Oscar for Boogie Nights.
yeah, yeah. I love. He always sounds like he's out of breath too. Like,
Hey, guys! I've been running far too long. What's going on out here?
Which is kind of funny because you'd think for a guy that's that ripped and he has to do like a ton of jogging
I
and
know
working
you'd
out,
think he'd
he
be
would
in
not be
shape
out of
and he
breath
wouldn't.
ever.
No,
But you're
no.
right.
And yeah, and he's got this newer thing. He like within the last like 5-10 years or so, he like got really into religion and he's gotten really in touch with his Catholic roots. And he has this whole like he's the producer of a prayer app on the
Yeah,
App
yeah,
Store.
I've seen that
But
advertisement.
he has this whole thing. Every Sunday he posts a clip of him like going to church or whatever, and he's got this catchphrase which is "Stay prayed up," which is just like the funniest. Like I don't know. It's just like stay prayed up. Like it's just like it could be.
I'm at the Red Lobster getting food right now. Stay prayed up.
Like it's just like
I think
just
for him, like I think his brother, Donnie Wahlberg, because he's different than his brother in that he's very subsued and very serious all the time. And I think he could actually break into a really serious dramatic role and be nominated for something or whatever.
I'd love to see them do a buddy cop movie with them two.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
One's like the stoic whatever, and the other one's like over the top, and he's like all coked
Yeah.
up or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. That'd be dope. That'd be
Yeah.
dope. So before we end this podcast, typically we do a thing I just watched and thing I'm like excited to watch. What have you watched lately? What was the last thing you watched?
A couple nights ago, I watched a movie called The Brave One, starring
Okay.
Jodie Foster and I always forget the guy's name. Who was the original before Don Cheadle took over the role in the Iron Man movies?
Oh, Terrence Howard.
So it's Terrence Howard plays a cop, and Jodie Foster plays a woman who she and her fiance are going through Central Park, and he is murdered. And
Ooh.
she
Okay.
wakes up after like she was in a coma, 3-4 weeks later, and they've already buried him. He's already gone. And so she's dealing with the grief and all the stuff. And so she becomes a vigilante, a very
Okay.
nervous, uncertain, grieving, fearful vigilante. And Terrence Howard plays the cop who's trying to figure out where all these new murders are coming from. And it's an excellent thriller. I highly recommend it. And you just have to roll with the fact that Sarah McLachlan songs are occasionally played. I am not in that camp, but I tell you what,
In
it
the
does work.
arms of an angel.
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
in the context of this film, it's
Yeah.
acceptable, and all you guys are like, trust me, it is worth it because the film is really, really good.
Okay. Okay.
What did you
Um.
watch lately?
So I just watched today, actually. It was on my list of I'm excited to watch. So it's kind of both. I was excited to watch it and I just watched it. But there's a documentary that came out this week called I Like Me, which was
John
about
Candy?
John Candy. Yeah.
And you
And
know what
it's,
that quote is from? What movie? Come on.
yeah, Planes, Trains, and
Which
Automobiles.
is I
It's
think
classic.
I think a top 10 comedy of all time.
It's so good, and it's the perfect. There aren't a lot of Thanksgiving movies, but
Those
that's
aren't
like the perfect
pillows.
Thanksgiving movie. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good, and he's trying to get Steve, that scene where Steve Martin's trying to get a rental car from the lady, and she's like dropping f-bomb, or he's like dropping f-bombs,
Yeah.
and she's just like not having it. It's so good. That movie's awesome, and that documentary is directed by Colin Hanks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Who was also in
And
Band of Brothers?
yeah, yeah, and it's got beautiful tributes from like John's childhood friends, Dan Aykroyd,
Yeah.
and
Who does an amazing
Bill.
like over like a monologue over top of the
Yeah.
is that the actual trailers? That's the okay,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's in the movie too.
Yeah, I like me.
Um,
Yeah, that's right.
It was just a beautiful tribute to a man who I always liked John Candy, but I didn't know how cool that dude was
Yeah.
and how like nice that dude was. Like the way they talked about him was just with like sheer reverence and love, like to live a life that people want to remember.
Obviously all of us, and there's endless amounts of topics and whatever, and it might be interesting to talk about sometime like deaths that really rocked you. Because for
Mm,
both of us, I think very close or at the top of the list is Robin Williams.
Robin
For
Williams,
me,
yeah.
also is John Candy, because it's not like you can look at the guy and be like, okay, the guy survived all the coke stuff and the crazy stuff in the 80s and Saturday Night Live and everything, and he's a big guy, and so like, oh well, it's expected. But like at the time, he was just making great film after great film after great. It was like it people forget, if you look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy didn't miss.
And he owned a Canadian football team that went to their version of the Super Bowl,
Yeah. Yeah. And
which is like
yeah,
cool.
but when he died, it was like, everyone was kind of like, oh well, you could definitely feel like people were like, oh well, maybe it was his time kind of thing. But it's like, no, the guy was like whatever, 42 or whatever. I don't know how old he was, but it was like
Yeah.
way too young for his
I believe he was 45 when he died.
45.
I
Okay, yeah,
believe.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But that is another episode
yeah.
of the Great Movie Pod. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to us, thanks for listening. If you would like to, we are over on YouTube. You can watch our beautiful faces and all that good stuff. But until next time, this has been the Great Movie Pod. Thanks for watching.
Take care, everybody.